Hi, I'm Melissa Webb, and I'm glad you're here today. I imagine if you're watching this, you're one of those parents that are involved and interested in finding great writing techniques to help your child be a better writer. In other words, you're one of my favorite people. So thank you for being here. Let's get started. Today, I just wanted to talk about a very effective method in practicing summary writing. I like to use what I call a quick write. Now here you can see this form that I have. It actually is called a Write About. This is put out by Scholastic Learning Resources, and I'll add a link back to it. I don't use it potentially the way they intended, but it must be similar. I refer to it as a quick write because it can be used as a timed writing piece. Now there's a lot of things I love about this form, so let me just start with that. Pull this up quickly. Okay, great. So right off the bat, I love that this form offers an area for the topic. Whatever writing assignment a student is doing, it's very important to remember that there's always a main idea or a main point, later to be referred to as the thesis. So I love that it has that topic to keep us focused. I love this box. It's called the draw box. So if you have a child that likes to doodle or sketch, where that used to be frowned upon, now research has shown that those are usually the students that have very active brains, and it's not a distraction. It's actually a form of engagement. So if they like to doodle and draw, you're going to love that part. Over here we have the keyword box. Really one of my favorite pieces of this form, because right here, students are going to write down the keywords from an informative text piece, and they're going to keep track of the main ideas. This is excellent for doing a good summary piece. Down here, they will take all of that information and they will now rewrite this into their own words, again, avoiding plagiarism. So, an excellent form. I love it. Let me go ahead and erase this, and let's scan down, and let's talk a little bit about the informative text piece that needs to go with it. This is actually a sample from the Read Naturally program, which I love. It's a great program. They're leveled reading passages. They have good content. They check for comprehension. There's questions that go with that, as well as you can test for fluency. You can see that they keep a word count here. So this can be used for a multitude of reasons. I love to use something like this because it's really not a big commitment to a reading passage. So you can see here, there's only 181 words in this passage. This isn't going to take us all day to read this a couple times through and write a summary on it. But you can use text from anything. You can use it from a particular textbook that you've been studying. If you've been researching information online and gathering things, this kind of quick write, it can be used for all of those things. So what I would have the students do, first time, pencils down. I would either read this out loud to them. I'd have students maybe take turns reading it. You and your child could read it back and forth. They could read it quietly, independently. They could read it out loud. Anything that works for you works for me. But the first time through, it's just reading for content. It's just reading for understanding. Some questions may come up. That would be a good time to talk about it. So once you've done that, then you're going to read it a second time through. This time, pencils up, and we're going to get that form started. So let me pull that form up. So the top part of it may start to look like this. Let's put this back up. Okay, right away, what's our topic? Abraham Lincoln. While I was reading, some students may have done a little sketch of Abraham Lincoln. Again, the only thing that I require here is that it's on topic. So if your child loves to draw roses, I would avoid that, and instead I would refer back to what the topic is. Okay, so somebody may have done a log cabin if they don't like to draw people. All right, so now we take a look over here and see what's been happening while we were reading the content. Keywords were being pulled out from each sentence or every other sentence, anything that seemed relevant. So here you see the words born in 1809. These are not full sentences. Some students like to try to do a full sentence there. That's why practice is good. We want to just give enough information so that we, the writer, can recall what we read and then form it into our own sentence, creating it to be more of an original piece of work, and again, avoiding the plagiarism. here you can see some students will do things like this. They'll have several sentences or several words, almost a full sentence, and that's okay. That's okay. Again, with practice, they'll get better at just dropping down to just a few keywords. Ideally, 3 to 5 words is what I tell students to try to stay focused on each of these. So you can see we just kind of went through that, right? Now, let me erase this. And let me scroll down so you can actually see how we then took those things, wrote them into a paragraph. My apologies for this being so light. I obviously didn't realize it was going to be difficult to read. So here we have all of those keywords. And now these keywords were used to create one summary paragraph, okay, which is an informative piece. So if you take a look here, we took born 1809. We've now indented our paragraph, and we've put Abraham Lincoln was born in 1809. There you have it. Taking just these key words, we've now created a full and complete sentence. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, that's not a topic sentence. You're right, that's not a topic sentence. We are just summarizing this information right now. If I later wanted to turn this into a more formal piece of writing, it still would be a great idea to get all the content first. Then we really know what we can zoom in on to make a clear topic as well as a good closing sentence. So don't feel that just because a paragraph may need a topic and closing that needs to be the first thing you write. Figure out first what the content's going to include. And then it's actually easier and more successful to create a wonderful topic sentence. So you can see here, second sentence. Mom died when he was 9. We put that into this sentence. His mom died when he was only 9 years old. Okay, so you can kind of see how this goes. I'm not going to take a lot of time and read all of these out loud. You can certainly pause this video at this point and take a look closer to see how it went from a keyword outline into the paragraph form. But I think you get the idea. This is such a great way to practice. It really doesn't take a lot of time. My more practiced paragraph writers can do this in under 5 minutes. After they have the keywords, they can write this whole portion in under 5 minutes. So if your child is encouraged by trying to beat the timer, set it for 10 minutes in the beginning and then slowly work your way down. If your child is actually stressed by a timer, don't time it. It really isn't a critical piece, but I do like to point out to students that the faster that they can learn to get their thoughts onto paper, the easier writing will become. So there you have it. I hope that helps. I hope you use it. I would love to know if you implement it, how it worked in your home. So feel free to contact me at writeonweb@gmail.com. Or you can find other ways to link to me on my website, writeonweb.com. Either way, I would love to hear from you and hear how things are going. Until then, write on.